Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 10th of February 2004. And as you can see here, my food town is starting to come together. So what I want to do in this video is shift the focus towards a little bit of forward planning, because I've got a couple of issues to do with chemicals and road layout that I do need to address. But before that, what I want to do is talk about Community Report 45. This was an update with respect to the new water and sanitation update that will be due probably, I would say, in March. More importantly, the devs have talked about a new overlay which they're calling city planning. And if I come into here, what we got at the moment is we've got this type of overlay where you can pick up resources and see what's going on. So if we probably come down to Stilton, we've got to start in Stilton anyway. And what you will have in this overlay is the resources that will relate to your citizens. So what you have is like food, clothes, don't think electronics is included, but there's alcohol in there. There's also a water overlay and a sewage overlay, and I think there's also a power overlay. And the difference between, say, this one and the new overlay is that what you will get in the new overlay is that you will get all buildings in green, and I'm assuming other colors to indicate the amount of food in the individual dwellings. So that would give an indication of how well your population is being supplied. But the one that really interests me is power and water, because the power overlay, because what it will do is give quite a pretty good visual overlay of if you've got any buildings that are about power. Of course, it will also give information related to water and sanitation. Now, I did get a comment on that video that I made about that there are ways that we can currently do that. And the impression I get is that this planning overlay will be extended as more mechanics are added to the game. And the one that springs to mind immediately for me is traffic congestion. Because at the moment, the only way you can check for traffic congestion is to kind of do a visual look like this, and occasionally you get warnings about delayed trucks. So that is one that springs to mind straight away. And another one which will relate to the next update, the water update, would be water quality and possibly even pollution. So I think the city planner will be further extended and modified over time, and that's just a little bit of a heads up with what will be coming in the next update. Now, the first thing I need to do before we actually do any planning, and it is related to the planning, because let's just start with but getting the map up really quickly. So I've been thinking about the way forward, because the next area we need to work on is chemicals, plastics, and which will then lead into the production of electro components and electronics, because at the moment our small electronics production area down in Stilton is just a temporary measure. And what I'm thinking is this area here is going to be our chemical production and everything to do with oil, because our oil field is here, and we've got another oil field in the, well, we could call it top right, but I don't want to start a second refining process over there. So what we're going to be doing is bringing the oil over to this area, and we're going to have our chemical and any other production related to oil in this area. And of course, as I've mentioned several times before, we've got Nuclear Island here. I want to do a bit of nuclear planning, not because I want to build it, but I've got a bit of a dilemma, is that we've got this road here, and we're going to need to work out how we can get the road through to here. And I don't really want to bang the road through and then find that it's constrained by nuclear industry. So that's something that we do need to look at. But before that, what I need to do is do a little bit of a fix, because I was looking at this area here, and especially if I come in here, you will see that I've got trucks kind of trolling backwards and forwards to the border, which is not particularly that efficient. So what I would like to do, I've got a distribution office up here. This has kind of rapidly become my distribution center for this area, and if I can steal one of these covered holes that don't have, I'm going to move you into here. I mean, I'll replace that covered hole. I just want to be able to get that one there, and then what I want is to pick these up and just come here, open this up, And we're going to see these guys have got chemicals on them, which is not good. Let's send these to here. And I've got the same problem with this one. And we're going to send you here as well. Usual problem of picking up the route here. I think that's the one. And what we're going to do is get all 4 covered holes into here. Make sure you're going, and you're going, just going to speed the game up a little bit. 1 to get us out of the snow, and 2 to get the covered holes in here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, I've got a building on fire, not much I can do about it. What I'm going to do is pick up chemicals from here and then go back over to here, get here, get to here. And you're going to put the chemicals 100%. And then we're exactly the same. Chemicals 100%. So what that means is we're bringing the chemicals into over here in Stilton by train, and then we'll be bringing the chemicals up to here. Be able to keep our chemical industry going. And hopefully what that will mean is that these trucks here will slowly empty out the fuel that they've got here. Probably don't need 4 trucks here, so I think we'll just send that truck back to there. Now that is the short-term solution. Now I'm thinking about the long-term solution. Just going to slow up the game now because we're out of snow and I want the time to build things up. Now the long-term solution is that we're going to be producing chemicals over here. Now chemicals is something that you don't really ship in large quantities, because say for example if we come all the way back to here, we show you the fabric factories. This fabric factory is only consuming 0.5 chemicals per day. So what I'm considering is we're going to build something with a bit of a kind of dip here. Now I think we've got a little bit of a zone here, and what I want to do is we can just get a normal warehouse. I'm going to drop put it on the opposite that junction there. A little bit of forward thinking with respect to our traffic manager. Just going to put you to there, and then I'm going to come to heliport platform. I think we'll put a triple in like this, and actually put it that way. Doesn't have to be connected. So we're going to put you there. You can come here because we need a level of fuel. And then the idea is that when this area up over here starts to develop, thank you game. So once this new town where we're going to produce the chemicals starts to develop, what we'll be doing is then flying in the chemicals by helicopter to this area here. So I think to begin with, we'll just get, I don't think these guys have got that much to do at the moment. Well, they've got loads and loads of unfinished roads, but maybe we can bring this guy in actually. So we're just going to, he's got a fair amount as well, but this is a long-term project. We're not going to be using this until our thing, but I want to get it built so that it'll be in position so that we're going to be able to take advantage of it. Now that leads into what I want to do up here now. What the idea is that we've got oil on the right hand side of the map, just up there. Now it's very remote, so I don't want to build a town out there immediately. So what I'm going to be trying to do is we're going to try and get a little construction office out there, which we can put vehicles into. And then the idea is we're going to use ships to bring the oil from the right hand side of the map to the left hand side of the map. The idea is going to be to try and get some kind of oil terminal in here for ships. I want to plan this first. Is it a pumping station, isn't it? Generally, pumping stations can be a little bit easier to get onto the map here. Maybe, come on game, you can do it. What have we got? Oh, that'd be nice. Get that there. Got a pumping station here. So we're going to need a road. For two things. One, we're going to need to put fuel into this. What we're also going to need to be able to take the oil out. So I think what we'll do is come in here. Just zoom in a bit. I think I've gone the wrong. Right. I'd like to have like a splitter like that. Turn you round, put you about there. Actually, it'd be nice to look at that. We could put a connection into there. That would ship the oil. Just try this out. If we ship the pump into there, what we could do then is pump the delivered oil down into this storage area here. But at the same time, we could put, if we needed it, we could put a supplementary oil store here. In fact, I think I will put one in just as a reminder. Now, be aware that we're not really going to be building that much of this to begin with. Again, I'm just going to flip that around. So if we put an oil tank about there, then that means we can for asphalt roads. We can take a road out from here to let's connect you through to there. And of course, what we're also going to need is an inward bound fuel tank, put fuel into here, which means I think so. If we flip you again, that, let's say something like that. Now we don't really need a massive fuel tank here. So it's just storage. I think it's page 2, or maybe it's not page 2 anymore. Maybe it's page 1. What do? Fortunately, this one we can't rotate, so maybe we'll just have to put you in about like that, and then put this road out there. Road to there. So this will be our fuel import area. Just accept that pipe there. Again, this is very long-term planning, and what we could do is, I'm not sure exactly how we're going to get the fuel into here at the moment, so I don't want to put an unloading bay in there just at the moment. But the idea is that we'll have our how flat is this area? I think this area is flat enough to put in a chemical industry and the plastics industry. I think that's the two industries that we need. So we can then supply what we're to be able to do then is put the plastic and chemical industry here. So that is that bit done. I'm not going going to go much further with that at the moment, because I just wanted to get that in to get a feel of the scale and what I needed to build over here. And of course up here we've got our dock. I've realized actually I haven't put a road in here. So I think we've got no bridges there, so I want to keep some space on the left hand side. So I think if we kind of come through there and put you there, and maybe just for safety's sake put you there. But we've missed some roads out here as well, so we need to get kind of create a proper junction here. We got footpaths, got road connection there, road connection there, and you've got a connection there. So it's that area there. And what I'm also thinking is that we've got to shift goods out to these outer islands. So there's a possibility that we're going to build other docks and bits and pieces here. Now, before we go on to the main focus of this part, which is our nuclear industry over here, I want to keep an eye on what's going on here. Made a little bit of a mistake through the winter in this area. What I actually did is I forgot to uncheck these. So we had 100 people move into there, and they duly laid down their lives for the Empire. I want to check the. I think we're just get. Can't build that because I'm trying to do at the moment is just keep infilling this area in, hopefully to get things going. So there's a few things that are coming together. I don't think there's a footpath there. No, we need to get a footpath there, maybe a footpath there. So, and we need this footpath built, and then we'll put a cross footpath through here. So, I mean, what I'm going to do is just keep building this up, so we won't really move anyone in until there. But what I have done here is we've got some tractors plowing these fields. I'm not sure if we got any fuel. Yeah, we got some fuel in here. You can see the fields are being sown. I'm not expecting a massive crop here, and we've only got the one combine in here, and we've got no covered holes. But what I have got down in Stilton, I just want to see what the progress is with my vehicle production here. Not it's railway production, sorry. It's vehicle production. We've got another little tractor here. And I think I've queued up some combines. Problem with these tractors is that they've got to travel by road, which is a very long way, so they take ages to get out here. So apologies, we'll just send him up there. I think that's the last of the tractor contingent. That gives us 4 tractors. I think I'm going to start with 4 tractors. 4 combines, and of course we're going to need the covered holes out there as well. And I think while we're here, we're just going to check my rail construction. Just make sure that they're on the case. I think I gave them really big jobs consciously. What we're currently doing at the moment is electrifying that line to the border. And is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one, isn't it? Nope. We got this guy's doing pretty well, laying in the elevated track into here. And then where are you? Yeah, at the moment he's pushing through electrifying that. Then to finish this area, what we need to do is run this out so far. How did you? Oh, I've got absolutely no idea how he managed to accomplish that. Oh, these have been set up for electrification. Sorry about that. So it looks a bit weird, but effectively, eventually we're going to electrify out to here, I've put a crossover here. So what we'll have is these guys will be able to get this area all set up. We'll get this distribution office up together. And what this distribution office is going to do is take over responsibility for clothes. Now, the other rail office is, I'll just make sure you're doing, what I've got going at the moment with this one is, this guy is, I think he's still pushing out here. Well, he's come out a long way, but I think I'm just letting him do his own thing at the moment. This guy, I think he's finally getting this connection through to our oil station, and once that's finished we need to do something about this bit of track going out that way, and then I think this bit is already finished, and then this of course this is all done as well, so that's good. And then I'm not sure what the last, oh, this guy is filling in this area here. We kind of keep filling in this whole section so that we can bring things online in this area, and I think that would be a big step forward, especially if we can get both these two rail distribution offices going. Anyway, that's the update. My tracks are quite happily doing their own thing. Now this is Nuclear Island, and I think I mentioned many parts ago that I already planned where the uranium mines are. These are the best two locations for uraniums. Now I don't know if you guys saw that message coming in. This is another area where that planning overlay may come into effect. That say it says, because at the moment it says an epidemic situation report, seems that it's impacted by serious infections, but of course you never know where that serious infection is. So I can see possibly in the future, if they start to improve these type of events, that what you may get eventually is, as part of that overlay, is you'll be able to click to go where the infection is, and then possibly get an overlay to see how bad it actually is as well. So that is, well, that's just me very highly speculating. So we've now got Nuclear Island. Now the first thing I want to put in seems a bit contradictory, but I was doing a little bit of game planning, is probably the polite way of saying it, and because I want a harbour for containers. Now this is really big, and one of the problems with it is, if I put it there, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but on the right hand side you'll see there's some red dots going over the land. And I was hoping to put it there, but we're not going to get it in there because of the thing. So what we're going to have to try and do is put it up around here somewhere. I'm not sure. Let me just see. We may have to do a bit of leveling. I'd like to. Some parts of the buildings are required to be in the water. If I push it out to, I think what we may have to do is have a little bit of a stab at leveling here. I'm always a little bit leery about leveling. I mean, this island is level, but it's not leveling the kind of direction that I expected. But then when I created this map, I made some very deep water off here, so that the land doesn't really flow outwards. We could get, come on guys, you can do it. Build this building on water. Can we sneak that back a little bit? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Luckily, I've got both two small construction offices overlapping here a little bit. Now, I'm completely honest. I did not expect that. I was expecting to have a few more problems than that. Now, of course, so what we got here is a container port. I think originally I had big plans of building one right up here, but I think it's a little bit unrealistic. So I thought maybe if I put one here, it will allow us to export nuclear fuel and possibly waste if necessary. The other thing I'm also considering is possibly some waste storage here. I'll right out on this peninsula. But what we're going to need to do now is obviously build a road. Actually, we're going to need to build a bridge first, aren't we? A nice kind of narrow slot there. So if we put a little bit of a connect you to there, and this is the, we're going to need to kind of go over this railway line. Now I don't really want to do that just yet because I've got a feeling I may have to move the railway line here, because this originally was like long-term scopy type planning, but I'm not sure that is actually going to go that well. Just suddenly realised I've got power transformer there and power transformer here. Oh, of course, yeah, we're going to have a nuclear power station here, aren't we? Sorry about that, guys. Right, the next thing is I'm going to, well, let's just talk our way through the producing nuclear fuel. Is probably the best way to do it. So we've got the uranium mine. Now the uranium mine takes a maximum of 100 workers, and it's got a potential production of 75 tons of uranium ore. Now these are not 100%. I can't, to be honest, I can't remember what the percentage for these are, but they're nowhere near 100%. So while they've got the potential for producing 75 tons of uranium ore, they're probably not going to achieve it. Now the next step in the process is uranium processing plant. You can see there that one processing plant can produce 36 tons of uranium ore. So that means that this has the potential of supplying 2 of these. But, and it's a big but, but because this may not reach the full 75 tons, but I still think you can justify building 2 uranium processing plants. Now the output of the uranium processing plant at maximum capacity is 1.7 tons of uranium oxide, which is, if I remember correctly, is stored in an open store. But you can see that the consumption for a uranium conversion plant, which is takes the uranium oxide, is 2 tons of uranium oxide per day. So if you imagine that, that's 1.7, that needs 2 tons. And that produces 0.96 UF6. So technically we probably need 2 of those, which will produce 3.4 tons, but we only need 2 tons there. What I'm kind of thinking at the moment is that we only use 1 uranium conversion plant, but build it in such a way that we could possibly add 2 on. And then of course what we get then is this outputs 0.96 UF6 per day, which is a very small amount, which is then put into a nuclear fuel fabrication which needs 0.4 UF6. So one of these can supply 2 of these, if you kind of look at it very quickly. But because the quantities of UF6 being produced is quite small, you can probably move these with trucks rather than using elaborate factory connections or anything else. And then what we get then is 0.95 tons of nuclear fuel. Now what I want to build is a twin reactor. So a twin reactor needs 0.08 tons of nuclear fuel. So if we go back to here, advanced, sorry, and you can see, so one of these produces enough fuel at maximum production to be able to supply one twin nuclear reactor. But, and it's a very big but in the sense that because you've got all the inefficiencies below that, what we really need is 2 of these producing enough fuel, and then what we'll be doing is exporting the surplus. That's hence the reason for this container port here. Plus this would also be a storage area here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in this area, see what we can do. I can't remember what the orientation for this. We're coming out that way, so we could. What I'm thinking is we can. I would like to have a conveyor connection in between. We need to go out to a store. Just find a conveyor engine. I think I'd like to have a conveyor engine like pulling out the to the actual store itself. In fact, I wouldn't actually just try something. We've got a bit of dead space here, so if I come out, say like we pull you out like that, and then I'm going to try and do it with normal storage buildings. So come here. I think I'd like a large. No, I don't. No. We're dealing with ore, so we need aggregates. Where's the aggregate store? I can never find the. Ah, it's under. Yeah, it should be here. That's it. I'm going to put a large aggregate store just in, say, about here, like this. I think that will work. And then we'll put advanced construction. What I would like is to be able to skip over that road. If I view that way, what we need is a central open store. If I put you pulling directly from there, like that, and if we put in you that way, and then if we put enough space between these like that, it just means the road might be on the wrong side, so things may get a bit complicated with respect to the getting the workers in here, but that's the way it goes. And then we could try an open store. I think I've got a no rail here. Right, I think what we'll do is we'll drop this one in. Actually, we can just get it between the two like that. So we can get you there. So we've now got the two. I've forgotten what they are now. We've got the two uranium processing plants. Now we've got a uranium conversion plant. So these two processing plants are producing 1.7 tons of uranium oxide, which I know can be stored in an open store. And then what we can do then is, wow, it's big. This is uranium conversion plant. Actually fitting quite well, actually. Just sort of sudden thought. Let me just see. I'm just wondering if I can feed in some more uranium oxide. The trouble is that's on the wrong side now. No. I think we're gonna stick with this. So this here will supply 0.96 tons of UF6, which means one of these can supply two of these roughly at maximum production. I think what we may need to do is just work on that, and then I want to duplicate this effect over here, maybe a little bit more efficiently. We got that there. So I think I can live with that. I don't think I've got any more I don't think we can get a little bit more there, 18%. A little bit of shadow there. I suppose what I could do is we could put you in here as a marker. Can we get anything a bit better? 49, 47, 51, 52, 50, 52, 50. We can get 50 odd percent production from here. So say for argument's sake I can put that there. I'm just going to put that in as a marker, because what we could do is, if we needed the extra iron, uranium, what we could do is just bring that online later on. So, but if I put it there, I know it's actually there. But my instinct is to reproduce what we've just done over here. So where's the road connection here? Road connection is a little bit so road connections there. So where's the conveyor connection? Conveyor connection comes out this way. What we could do is go across the road and put all the main Uranium do flicker stuff on the other side. Let me just, yeah, I think that will work. So put the aggregate store on what we'll do is we'll put the large aggregate store, just flip that round like that if it's on the, and then we'll see if we can get the conveyor belt and jump across the road like that. And this time we'll see if we can get a little bit of a more tidier kind of connection out here. We'll put you out there, because that means we can have a bus stop here which will supply the workers to that one. And I think this time what we'll do is we'll put the store in first. We'll kind of put the store in first like that. And then hopefully actually, if I put that out a little bit like that, just had a little bit of a thought here. Wondering if we can get, oh look at that, brilliant. I think I rode through there, and that means we can hook you to there. That means that in principle I could put a, can we get a bus stop in here? A little bit tight. It'd be absolutely brilliant if I could get, look at that. Fantastic. I'll even put up with that little bit of road there. So put you there. And considering we've broken the road there, what that means is we'll get a bus stop that can drop off here. Maybe a little bit far to there, but if there's a problem, we can always put a second bus stop here. So we've now got this production area here. Of course, exactly the same as we got here. I think this time we're put the conversion fix up. Put this on this side like that. Yeah, I think probably this could be the better way forward. Because if we do this, if I get any surpluses, I can move them around by trucks. In fact, I'm kind of a bit inclined just to kind of tilt you a little bit that way. That. that would give us the potential to put a footpath or something up round here. So that's the two production areas, but of course what we haven't built is these, isn't it? The actual fuel fabrication type buildings. I think the next thing I would like to do is get in the actual power station. And I think the rail line might be okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a twin nuclear. Wow, this is big. We're going to need to have enough space for the cooling towers. And all of that. If that stays green, that will save me a lot of leveling. If we put a nuclear power station there, the only real problem, and this needs 2 cooling towers. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather move the rail than, you know, the problem with cooling towers is there's only like an in and an out to them. It can be a bit tricky to. I think that will work just here. If we keep them close enough, they'll actually draw power from the power station itself. So it means we won't have any complications from that point of view. And then I think you come out to there, and then you kind of come into there like that. And then what we're going to need on the other side is the same thing, but this one's going to be a bit more complicated, I think, because it's maybe we could drop it back like that a little bit. The road will be a little bit tricky. If we can get you, actually if we can do it that way, just get the cooling tower about this one be easy, but what we're gonna have to do is put a road down like that, so that we can then put the second, whoops, what happened there? Oh, did that go straight over? I was expecting to have to put the pipes up high, so we've now got our nuclear reactor. Comes as a really big surprise. Where's the road out of here? Road's up there. Okay, can we get... Right, we may have to get back to here. These out. Take them all out. Make sure they connect. And then we'll put the road in. And we'll just bring it out a little bit so that it doesn't crowd those connections. That's really surprised that that has actually gone over the tops of. So we've now got this area here. Now the power connections are out the front here, so I don't want the road crowding that there. We're now going to build a, we're just curve you in like that. Trim this road back a little bit, about there, because you need a road connection. So we're just bring you out like that. We bring you round like, and you can come into there like that. Means you can connect here. Now, I'm not too worried about making this a through expressway type road, simply because this is the vehicles coming into here should only be here to actually service this area here. Now, if we kind of bring you through about there, we can bring you down to about there, and we're just going to accept those roads. Now, the next fun bit you need chemicals, you need chemicals. And well, we need to get this road in here, but I think we can successfully get this road down from here, can come into here. And what I want to do now is do exactly what I did before with respect to the fabric factories, is getting the chemicals in. So what we're going to do is come in here. I think we can store 195 tons of chemicals. If we got more than 195 tons of chemicals in here, we've got a problem. I don't think I want to crowd the cooling tower, so I'm going to keep everything fairly open and relaxed. And then what we'll do is, actually, if we put it about there, like that, and then we can now put in the road bridge here. Kind of looking to come in just about there. Is that? Oh, it's probably too steep. I think there's a way you can shift, isn't it? I don't remember now. I must look up the command. There's a way that you can stop the bridge curving. Can't remember offhand what it is, and I don't really want to. And just get you back down again, and then, oops, not actually sure what happened there, but you can connect to there. Connect to there. Game's on pause for the moment, so, which in some ways isn't such a bad thing. Now we go back to storage. What's the correct me if I'm wrong, I think all we need is this to store the waste containers. So if we put you there, if this is wrong, feel free to chuck it in the comments and correct it. So the idea is that we've got somewhere to put the waste storage there. We got this connection here, which will bring the chemicals in, which I think is the only thing we really need. These factories, isn't it? The chemicals and fuel. And what we need to do now is build some of these. So this needs 0.4. So this needs 0.4 UF6 to 0.5 nuclear fuel. This produces 0.6. So my instinct is, now what I want to do is I'm going to use distribution offices to move this stuff around because it's not massive quantities. I think what I'd like is 1, 2, and possibly 3 of them across here like that. Now the next thing I want to get in is, we got you there, we got these here, and we got a rail line coming in here. Let me just so actually let me just we need a train platform. We put a train platform, say about here. And then getting very, very involved. Now, when I put this in, I was not considering a... Right, let me just come back. further. That should give me, and what we're going to be using here is probably trams again. And let me just try something. I must admit, I'm really made up with the success I've had with the the elevated railway in Stilton. So I'm kind of inclined to keep that going here. I'm not sure this will connect though. May have to rework this. That. Oh wow, it will connect because I built the right rail one there. So what we can do is come in with the elevated railway here. I think we'll be. I have a very strong feeling that we're going to be doing a lot more elevated railways in the future. I'm really starting to like them. So what we'll be able to do is we've got we're going to have our nuclear city there that's going to provide the workforce. We'll get a train set or tram line that will come down into here, and also what we might do is we'll probably put a bus stop close by. No, we can actually pick the workers up from here, can't we? Well, they might transship. That gets that road there. So what I'd like to do now is we'll put a through road here like that. Hook you up to there, there. We've got a junction here, which I think will come down here and connect into there. You into there. Actually, remove. We got that. I think, yeah. We'll just have to redo this. I think it's a little bit messed up. Probably the easiest way to do this will be to run this. I mean, I live in the UK. There's no reason why any road in the should be straight. And then you can hook to there. You can come to there. We can potential for a bus station here, and then you can come out. You're only a service road, so you can come there. And all we got is the problem of what to do with this guy. Kind of like to leave a space here in case we need another one of these. So maybe we'll come round this way. Let me just check the path situation. These guys don't have. I can't get the footpath's kind of in the wrong place, but we could get a footpath through to there. So we could probably put a bus station here that will drop the workers off to here, here, and here. If they won't walk, I mean, they might walk to this one or this one, but they might definitely won't walk to there. Anyway, we're just going to get to roads and accept that. Now, I think that completes my nuclear fuel production and the nuclear power station. Of course, we need to plan nuclear city up there, but I'm not planning to jump straight in and start building this. I just needed to get this layout. So we've now got a definite road connection through to here, which is useful. I mean, it's not a direct highway, but I'm not expecting it to be, because technically we could bring workers in from here to one side should we need it, but I think we'll probably get enough in from Workers City. And I'm pretty sure that I'm running out of time. Let me just check. And I have quite literally run out of time for this video, but so I've not been able to get over to the other part that I wanted to work on, which is starting to plan our chemical industry there. But that would be the subject for another video. And I think I don't think our construction trains have been running long enough to actually finish their current jobs. So let me just take a look at that, especially this one, because this is the one I want really working hard at the moment. Yeah, they're still working on all 3 jobs. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.